Well, after a small quick break that takes on around, we are here for the Budweiser Shootout. And look who got the pole for this one. Your Bud Light Showdown winner, Anthony McCurry. And that is no surprise. Well, that's kind of a big surprise. And Warren back with us again. And, you know, when we look through at the showdown again before going to take a look at qualifying for the shootout via by random draw, some interesting surprise about it, though. Anthony McCurry, he's really making a good resurrection for that team with Chevrolet.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, and he pulled the shorter end of the stick on that one. So he's at the back, now he's in the front because the way we do it here is that we top of the draw and stuff like that. So he got lucky, but man, that car is quick. I'll be interested to see if he can hold that.
So definitely so. Anthony McCurry, he'll be on the unofficial pole for this race. Next to him, we got JT Bryan, the 22. Joshua Osborne, the 27. Daniel Olson, the 12. Remember, keep in mind, him and Gardner, they'll be swapping rides for this race. Both are in this field. 5th, John Art. 6th, Seth Cole. 7th, Brett Pritchard, the one off of the 49. He'll run that for the entirety of Speed Weeks in the 500. 8th, Nathan Hudson. 9th, Jessica Shull, clean that top 10. Kyle Keith. And here's the rest of your starting line with Trent Dunham. Angel Navarro, this is his last ever Cup start. He's driving the 23, having gained. Hopefully he ends on a high note compared to past drivers in the past that have done this. Fingers crossed. Kyle Matthews, Clint Spillman, Cody Lamas, Levi McIntyre, Sky Commons, Johnny Gardner, Zach Rogers, RJ Bishop, Kate Anderson, Dylan Potey, and on the final row, Charles Sanford and Zach Flickinger. And here comes the command.
Drivers, start your engines!
As there's the command. Obviously, we had a really good showdown, 24 laps again, like the Bud Light Showdown took place. So with the shootout having a lot of the veterans taking play here, this should be a really fun race.
Yeah, it should be a pretty good one. We'll see if everyone gets off, and they do. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. This is a good representation of what they're going to be like with all these veteran drivers. How are they going to draft? How are they going to pass? How are they going to do this? How are they going to do that? It's going to be a good representation, and I'm really excited for it.
And keep in mind, like I mentioned before, Angel Navarro, this is his last Cup start. Now, remember, we had Michael Norman and a few others that had that certain mobility and all that. They did not do well. Navarro, he's been a while in the NRSL. Hopefully he can turn that around. Starting off, he's in the number that started it all. So what a great way to end off right there. Pace car making a dive down the pit road. Anthony McCurry, JT Bryant, they're going to lead the field down. And for the second ever Budweiser Shootout, we are green at Daytona. And you can see Anthony McCurry, he got going on that start. He was ready for it, and he is flying out of the track. But knowing because it's Daytona, that's normally not a good thing.
No, it's not. And the outside line got a better restart than the showdown, which is very exciting to see that they can hold it, unlike the last generation. But, McCurry, big moves in the back already.
You're seeing a lot of the Say Keith cars starting to work their way up. John Art, Brett Pritchard, they're working on the inside line. Jessica Shelton, the 0-2. Here comes Angel Navarro in the 23. Alrighty, 3 wide. And if you notice carefully, too, in very separate packs, very separate areas of the field, Jessica Shelton and Kyle Matthews are in the front for S3, and Charles Sanford in the rear for S3. So all 3 of the S3 cars are working on the inside line, as you see Navarro getting moved to the middle line. S3, they had a whole bunch of changes. They kept Chevrolet, but just whole different sponsors. Melly Yellow and Kings Island stay with Kyle Matthews. This is an alternate that's being used for the season, so a newer look with them, two different looking ones. As a nice move by Shelton. That's one of the newer schemes that she's running for the season. It's one of the soccer clubs. I'm going to have a hard time pronouncing it. It's Rakenberg, I believe it's called, which I probably botched because that is such a hard freaking sponsorship that I cannot figure out in the life of me of what it's called. But if that is the case, then yes. Anyways, Sheldon going to lead that lap right there. And here comes Sky Commons. This is a newer looking car, and it's a Dodge. Commons moving out of the 24, going over to the 17 to form his own team. And interesting enough that he is also one of the few Dodges in the field. So kind of no surprise right there that Dodge has been having a really good Daytona program. We've seen it in the testing session, And here we are at the Showdown and Speed Weeks here. Dodge up here. Strong. That's RJ Bishop, keep in mind. And for comments, that is Sin City Motorsports. I want to be clear on the team right there. And speaking of final starts in Daytona, you got that pink car, not the X-Side, but that T-Mobile car right there with the baseball and all that. That is Zach Flickinger right there. He'll be running that all of Daytona Speed Weeks. And this is his last Daytona start, and this is his final Cup season altogether. Zach's had a pretty interesting Cup career. He's done better in Xfinity, but last season he only picked up his first ever win, which is hard enough to believe. But he's been in the Cup Series since season 4, I believe it was, when he was in the 8 car. So hard enough to believe, but he's done a not bad job regardless.
Getting really bunched up.
They are. Levi McIntyre now up in the front. Here comes Zach Rogers. Rogers was in the 9 last season, now moves over to the 6 into that Dodge team right there. So one of the few Dodges that you see right there. And here comes Daniel Olson working on that inside line. And Clint Spillman in that 24. And it's crazy and hard to believe that Spillman is now in the legendary number 24 right there. And man, I'm telling you, these guys are racing crazy competitive right now.
Yeah, it's way too early for this, but I mean, it's a good show. I'll give them that.
They're definitely putting on a good show. Here comes the man that hates Daytona with a burning passion. You see that super blue Sega car right there. That is Trent Dunham right there. If you notice with Sega Keith, they have done all throwback Daytona rides that have been made. Trent Dunham's got the Season 2 car that was ran in the season. John Art, still in that 05. That's the only non-throwback one. Kate Anderson in that Napa car. Brett Pritchard, you see he's in the 49 for this event. That was his first ever scheme that he had, transferred over and everything. And Kyle Keith in that 42, that red and white target car, that was the scheme that he won the Daytona 500 in. Hard enough to believe it's been nearly 5 seasons in. It makes it feel that old, huh?
Oh yeah, it's a really old scheme, but it's good to be back in it.
Hard enough to believe too. And Cody Lamas, the other Florida native, starting to work his way up in the front. New sponsor, well, a new looking sponsorship of Florida Panthers. He's got 2 this time. Is this one here? He'll be running in Daytona, Sebring, Pensacola, and the other Daytona race that'll come around, this red and white one. And then the white and red, he'll be running that at Homestead because, well, he is from the Homestead, Miami area, and that's where he likes to go. It's his favorite team, so good to represent right there. Oh, man, Dylan Pote for a bit I thought was going to get moved up 4 wide right there, but they're going to keep it together 3 wide at least. And look at McCurry. I'll tell you what, he started on the pole for this one here. He's already back up to the front. Took 7 laps, but, man, he made sure he made it worth. But now Joshua Osborne going to move him to the middle. Cody going to try to shut the door. Can't do it.
Nope. Yeah, McCurry's got a fast hot rod. He's got a really quick hot rod.
For a minute, I thought they were going to go 4 wide in the rear, but Joshua Osborne had a rookie sensation year last year, ended up picking up 3 wins in 10 races, and then after that, he easily made the chase, and the chase wasn't his friend. Osborne definitely be one driver to keep an eye on in that sophomore year. Hopefully he does not have the sophomore slumping. Man, I'll tell you what, these drivers, even though we added a couple drivers into the field, because the Showdown we had 21 drivers, in here we have 24. So, with a couple extra cars, they're still racing competitive, but they're not going as crazy as the Showdown. And again, it's all the veterans here, too.
I was just about to say that. It's all veteran drivers. That makes a huge difference.
And look at Asian Navarro third on that inside line. That 23 Gain Toyota right there. Throwing it all together, trying to get that car out there for this event. He's already trying to make a big impact. A win would mean everything to Navarro. And remember, too, last season he won at Sebring, another Florida track, in the Cup Series. Ironic enough, you see Navarro and Keith working together. They were bound for that race win at that time. Keith came down pit road, which literally handed the win to Navarro. And here they are, just racing at it with one another. Also had quite the rivalry, too, in the process. Speaking of Kyle Keith, Mr. Daytona is what he's been calling himself lately there for the Daytona races. Can't make a move on Shelton, but could make a move on McIntyre right there, as McIntyre will now come to the point and try to take the lead.
starting to calm down at the front. All the big players are starting to start making a little bit of moves, and you see 3 wide in the back now, where everyone's still a little bit jumpy.
Yeah, RJ Bishop now trying to go to the point, and here comes Johnny Gardner trying to take the lead. Now remember, Johnny Gardner, Daniel Olson, they're swapping rides for only this Speed Weeks and the 500. So you're going to see Johnny Gardner in 21 and Daniel Olson the 12 for these races only, which would be this, the duels, the 500 pole day qualifying, and of course the Daytona 500. And then once they go to Auto Club, they'll be back in their respective rides throughout the remainder of the season. And the same can also be said for Brett Pritchard in the 49, who will move over to the 8. But in the meantime, though, I'll tell you what, these drivers are racing still very competitive. We haven't really seen 4 wide yet. And I hope let's not go to that route yet.
Don't jinx it.
I know. Zach Flickinger now back up to the point. I'll tell you what, both the T-Mobile cars working their way up to the front. Not teammates, however. Zach Rogers up in the second. And keep in mind, too, the resurgence of Dodge in this series, let alone from last season to this season, really has shown an impact. Bishop Family Racing, they moved over from Toyota to Dodge. Rogers has remained a Dodge ever since the start of his career. Zachary Fitzwater, who was in the showdown, he went from Ford Mustang to a Dodge. And, you know, really showing that. They're getting aggressive now. Oh, boy.
Oh, I don't know if you saw what I saw. That 11 car just about ended the whole field.
I did.
Off turn 4.
That was close.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
And now Kyle Matthews going to move Brian up the middle. Very surprised, though. Noah's really been extra gutsy there. But, man, I noticed Osborne was kind of leaning on that 23's corner panel a little bit there, but they're at least going to keep it together for now. Now Matthews going to block that high line. Pritchard goes to the middle. Olsen goes low. But Kyle's going to shut the door.
No.
Literally 3x3 throughout this entire pack right there. Look at Clint Spillman. A little bit out of line in that 24 John Deere Chevrolet. For Clint 8813 Motorsports there. Trying to keep that car in one piece. And the funny thing about Clint, too, you know, he's been one of those drivers that's been in the active wins list for quite a while. And yet, here he is in this field in a new ride in a different number for the 3rd time in his career. He started off in the 10, then went to the 4, all Stuart Haas racing cars, keep in mind. And now here he is in his own team in the 24, trying to make an impact. And, you know, he's up there in the all-time wins list. I believe he is 3rd or 4th all-time. And it's despite every season that he's raced, with the exception of one season, as they're 4 wide hanging into turn 3. That's Sheldon, Kyle Keith, and around goes Shelton. And I see Navarro get involved.
Oh, my Lord.
JT Bryant, Zach Rogers. Oh, that's a tough blow. JT Bryant, he's out of it. He's done. And what a bitter end for Angel Navarro and that Toyota right there. That car is crunched up. And that looks like that'll be the end for Angel Navarro in his career in Cup. What a sad shame that is right there.
You know, that's just that was that 4 wide product we were talking about. Don't make that move. But apparently Kyle Keith thinks it's time to go and made a 4 wide move.
Yeah. Zach Rogers, he really got crunched up there in that Motor Grader Dodge.
It's another product of this mod. Look at the damage.
Oh wow, and kind of bunching up a bit right there. But yeah, you make a good point right there. I believe, does Sheldon have any rear damage? Oh, she does.
Yeah.
She got plowed.
Yeah.
May have been Zach Flickinger in the 96 right there. But yeah, if you notice with the mod here how they changed from the Gen 615 to the MEN Cup 18, you could see the damage of the models of the cars, and you could see Rogers and Navarro with their hoods and let alone the front end, how crunched they can get. And man, they really got torn up right there.
Sheldon's damage was a product of her getting thrown up near the wall from that collision.
You can see a little bit of a buckle in the 96 too. You can see just a little bump on the T-Mobile Chevrolet. Not a whole lot, but if you could see very carefully off the angle, you could see right around over here, right where that mouse area is. You can kind of see from that area where that little buckle is, but he's going to stay out. Shelton, Rogers, and Navarro are going to come down pit road, but what an end for Angel Navarro. However, the good news for the fans of Angel Navarro, he'll be in Xfinity in Season 8 throughout this season, but that will be the last time you'll see him all together in any NRSL series. But as far as Cup goes, he's going to end it on a low note, wrecked out.
Maybe. Let's see if I'm doubting he's going to get back out. But let's see
No,
if they
especially with that damage. I don't think so. Yep, he's out of it.
No,
I kind of figured.
no, it's done.
And Rogers also is called quits. Shelton going to repair that car. Caution's out for the first time tonight. Dylan Poteet leads. Season 5 champion. Let's go take a look at ourselves. Our first caution. Well, you were right about Kyle Keith wanting to make it 4 wide right there. You see, he just snuck underneath Jessica Shelton. She realized that is not a good area to be in, especially going 4 wide heading into turn number 3. Because like they say, if you enter 4 wide in turn 3 and turn 1, it is not a good thing. And you can see right there, Kyle Keith just sneaking underneath, just making contact on the 0-2. And Shelton obviously had no choice but to spin. Gets into Angel Navarro, nowhere to go, JT Bryant. You see Brett Pritchard get a piece from the 0-2 right there, but actually keeping it together, just about riding the wall. There's Bryant, there's Rogers, there's Zach Flickinger getting the piece, and you see John Art in the 0-5 right there. He barely gets through that wreck. Zach Rogers nowhere to go, and Johnny Gardner was stuck behind all that, but he makes it through unscathed. What a lucky break right there. But what a tough break for Angel Navarro. Yeah. Should have been a lot bigger right there. Yeah. But that's a look what happened. Navarro, it's going to end his Cup career right there. Zach Rogers and Bryant, don't worry, they'll at least still be in the 500 and all that other stuff. So tough break regardless, though. Caution's out. Your leader's Dylan Poteet. Let's take you back to the green. Welcome back. You've not missed much there. 2 cars out of the race. That's Angel Navarro and Zach Rogers. And Navarro's last Cup race will be a last place 24th in the Budweiser Shootout. Jessica Shelton and JT Bryant went down pit road. They got their cars repaired. They're back on the track. So here is your rundown here. Dylan Poteet, your leader. Daniel Olson, 2nd. 3rd, Charles Sanford. 4th, Clint Spillman. 5th, Sky Commons. 6th, Cody Lamas. 7th, Kyle Matthews. 8th, Nathan Hudson. 9th, Brett Pritchard. Clean the top 10, Anthony McCurry. Rest of your top 20 is Kyle Keith, Kate Anderson, Seth Cole, Joshua Osborne, Levi McIntyre, RJ Bishop, Trent Dunham, Zach Flickinger, John Art, and Johnny Gardner. And then you have Bryant 21st and Shelton 22nd. So, Dylan Poteet out in front, trying to represent for Tweenix Racing. Remember, they got downgraded to a 2-car team with him and Seth there in the 31 and 33. Ian Dutta retired, and they didn't get the 30, so this is it for Tweenix Racing. As pace cars coming on down pit road, we're going to have 7 laps to go when we go back to Green Flag Racing here at Daytona. Green Flag back underway here at Daytona.
Damn, Sanford just...
He immediately moved to the high lane. But I don't think that was a good move by that 0-3 because of the 24 already peeking underneath. It's kind of weird to see Spillman in the 24 after all those seasons being in the Stewart-Haas racing cars, and you're used to seeing him in that font. Now here he is in the 24, and I'm so used to seeing Sky Commons. Ironic enough, Commons is right behind Sanford, not too far behind from Spillman, so weird seeing that.
Yeah, a lot of big moves this offseason, a lot of new cars and a lot of new drivers. It's going to throw... It already threw us for a loop in the showdown, so just be ready for that.
Speaking of which, remember, too, we had that swap with Olson and Gardner as Johnny Gardner, you can see in that rear of the field trying to catch up as Olson trying to get the lead, which he does. Now Spillman to underneath, and in a way, him and Cody Lamas, they may work together this season. Them two know each other really well, and they're Chevys, but different number fonts and all, so we'll see what the case will be. Here comes Nathan Hudson. He had the worst season last season. However, he did get a pole, however. And here he is in the T-Mobile Toyota trying to take the lead. And also keep in mind about Hudson, too. He did win a race last season. His season was horrid. However, HRT Tech, they definitely had an upgrade after some funds taken over. And they formed a 2-car team, which you've seen Baranowskis in the 46 in the showdown. And this is the other car that's in it. And speaking of Tweenix Racing, coming to the lead, Seth Cole.
Let's talk about bad seasons, and I know you're doing those documentaries. You're starting to work on them. But, Brett Pritchard had a bad season last season, too.
He did. He definitely did not have a good one. He was the worst out of the Sega Keith drivers. He ended up in the bottom 5 in the standings. And crazy enough, too, he ended up also picking up a victory during that time. It's kind of weird. Pritchard actually won in both series. That's the weirder part of it all. That he actually had such a horrid season in both series. Despite winning a race, he still finished in the bottom of the standings. Now looking on through the field, you know Zach Flickinger, he is off the pace. Jessica Shelton's really off the pace, but JT Bryant really off the pace. And you notice also Joshua Osborne, the 27, is kind of off. He's lost the pack. So what you're seeing in this pack right here is going to battle for the win from Clint Spillman onto Kyle Matthews. And you look who we have in this field. We got 2 S3 Motorsports cars. We got the Sega Keith Motorsports cars literally all in this pack alone. You got Bishop Family Racing, Gardner Racing with Gardner and Olson. You got Sin City Racing, Tweenix Racing, McIntyre Racing, and oh my god, 4 wide for second. That could end the race. Remember?
That's not gonna end. That's not gonna end. That's not gonna end it. Not gonna end it. Not gonna end it. Not gonna end it. They're gonna hold it. They're gonna hold it. God damn it.
Oh no, they're gonna hold on. No, they're not. And there goes RJ. There, the caution comes out. But I don't know who crossed the line yet. I think they just crossed the line, and that's gonna end the race. And Kyle Matthews is out in front. He literally just got the yellow. Right as that happened, Osborne involved, Trent Dunham sliding around like crazy. Nathan Hudson, Kate Anderson, RJ Bishop. Sheldon tried to hit the brakes, does. Seth Cole, Anthony McCurry, your showdown winner. And just like that, that's going to end the race. And Kyle Matthews may have just picked up the victory for the second ever Budweiser Shootout.
We might have a 1-lap shootout. I'm thinking about it. It might end it, but I'm still hoping for a 1-lap shootout.
Yeah, we'll see, though. A lot of cars got damaged in that one right there. Oh, I just heard a smack. What happened here? I was someone hit the wall. I thought I heard a plow at one point, but... Nope, that's just what happened right there. They're going to have a lot of work trying to repair that course up at that time. I don't think we're going to have a 1-lap shootout, but... We may as well, while we're here, we'll look at what happened with Bishop and others right now as we'll take a look at it. So, let's go to RJ and take a look what happened. He still crossed the line 8th somehow. I don't know how, but he did. They were 4 wide heading the front stretch. I knew once Gardner was making contact, doesn't look good, but here it is. Take a look at what happened. And Kyle, it's safe to say 4 wide Daytona, not a good combo.
Duh. I mean, it just ends. Trent Dunham get no luck at this track.
Johnny Gardner kind of pushed RJ up the track right there. And then there you see the wreck taking place. Somehow Kyle Keith's going to avoid that one. Dunham goes into Nathan Hudson. There's the yellow. There's McCurry getting involved right there. Okay, Anderson trying to whoa up. Gets squeezed into the wall right there. Osborne plowed Seth Cole. Wow.
Shit.
Osborne, 27, just plowed the 33. Nowhere to go. McIntyre getting a little piece right there. And thank goodness because they stopped wrecking over here because you had Zach Flickinger about ready to fly on in. And man, that 27 plowed the 33. I'm kind of not surprised why I saw the 27 on pit road. Now we got to go to Kyle Matthews for the reason because, wow, they were... Oh, not really. I was the JT way behind. So let's go to the line where the caution. Yep, right there. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Look at this here. Now you notice the flagman has got green right here. Now you see they're wrecking right there, which is no surprise. Now see, they're green right here.
That camera angle. The flagman.
Still green.
Yep.
Now the yellow's out. Look at Commons. Commons is ahead when that point happened. They could have at least had 2 cars at least race it out, but they just said, no, we're throwing the yellow right now. But, wow, that's a little interesting because you see the lights are on the pace car, and you notice the pace car immediately just roams on out. And Matthews and Commons, I don't think they realized, they thought they crossed the line at the yellow, but you can see from the flagman's point, it was still green. Wow, that's a little bit of scenarios right here. We're trying to see if we can get a view of where the caution lights are on, because remember, the flagman's thing is a little bit delayed from, you know, I don't think we'll get it from here. Yeah, because you can see in TV2, see now RJ's right there, he's wrecking. You see Matthews, he's going to cross the line.
Caution, even the wheeling light wasn't
right
on.
there. Yeah, see, look, he crossed the line. You can see just from the distance, it's still green. But apparently, they decided, no, we're not going to throw the caution at all. That's a little bizarre. And watch the flagman, you're going to see, too. See, there's the yellow lights you see right up here. So, that's a little bit controversial there, but regardless, it looks like Matthews is going to pick up the victory.
And they waited to put that caution out, too.
They did. Let's go on board Osborne right here and just see how he's going to plow Seth Cole right here. On this wreck in the Castrol GTX onboard. Wow. He may have lost the brakes right there. Just plowed him hard. That was a hard hit, too. That was actually the first hard hit we've had in these cars since, you know, making that transition, too.
Mm-hmm.
So now, as Osborne has called it quits, you see we are on the white flag lap as Kyle Matthews is about ready to take the checker flag. Kyle Matthews for S3 Motorsports. He's going to start off on a high note here. And the alternate mellow yellow Chevrolet for S3 Motorsports, the Ohioan there, is going to come to the line and picks up the checker flag. He wins the second ever Budweiser Shootout for the NRSL Universal Lando Cup Series. I'll tell you what, that was a good race regardless, and hope you guys enjoyed everything that took play here. As here's the rest of the results that are taking play right here of the 24 drivers. There you see it. Kyle Matthews picks up the victory. Sky Common second. Dylan Poteet third. Johnny Gardner fourth. John Art fifth. Kyle Keefe sixth. Charles Sanford seventh. RJ Bishop eighth. Clint Spillman ninth. And completing the top 10, Daniel Olson. 11th through 20th is Cody Lamas, Nathan Hudson, Brett Pritchard, Anthony McCurry, Kate Anderson, Levi McIntyre, Trent Dunham, Zach Flickinger, Jessica Sheldon, and JT Bryant. Seth Cole, last car to finish the race in 21st. And the three cars out of the race, Osborne 22nd, Rogers 23rd, and Navarro 24th. Well, what an interesting Bud Light showdown that took play and Budweiser Shootout. Want to thank each and every one of you guys for taking play that has been watching this all throughout today. What a great time this was. Warren, I know you had a good time with me in the booth here for this race. That was a lot of fun. Glad you enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah. It's gonna be a good speed week.
So, of course, tomorrow there will be Daytona 500 Pole Day qualifying that will take play. And then next week, we will have the Gatorade Duels that will come on by. And I believe, I'm not sure what's going to be in play for how the duels are going to work. I believe the duels will be just Saturday. And then there will be nothing Sunday. And then on Saturday and Sunday of the week after, we will see the Xfinity race at Daytona. And then the Cup race, the big ever, the granddaddy of them all, the Daytona 500. Speed Weeks is just underway, though. We are back, and it feels damn good to say that. We are back. So, of course, thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, be sure to give it a like, comment your thoughts. Subscribe, be part of the NRSL by hitting that subscribe button. Want to thank Warren for joining me in the booth, and, of course, he will be with us for the Gatorade Duels that will take play. So, until then, this is your boy, D. Young, signing off here from Daytona National Speedway for now. Until then, goodbye, everybody, and Warren, just say something random. Which is nothing but static. Yay!
I trademark bye.
Bye.